So next we are going to be dealing about the topic called, today's topic called as measurement of price elasticity of demand. So there are different kinds of measurement of the elasticity of demand. So we are going to be seeing each and everything in this. Price elasticity and income elasticity is going to be one of the important aspect what we are going to be seeing. So you can see the price elasticity of demand. This method is also going to be having measurement of methods of measuring a price elasticity of demand. There are three main methods. So what are the three methods we can see? Percentage or proportionate method, geometric or point method, total outlay or expenditure method. So first we can see about the percentage or proportionate method. So percentage or proportionate method. So price elasticity, you can see the what is going to be the formula here is price elasticity of demand is equal to, so you will write it in the form of EP is equal to percentage of proportionate change change in demand divided by change or proportionate change in price. So this can be written in an equation called as price elasticity of demand is equal to change in quantity divided by quantity into 100 divided by change in price divided by price into 100 is equal to change in quantity divided by quantity divided by change in price divided by price is equal to simple formula. What you can write, instead of writing such a big elaborated explanation, simply you can write change in quantity, because we take the only common factor which is going to be represented there. So change in quantity divided by change in price into price divided by quantity. So this is going to be the formula. This formula carries 2 marks. So how you write this in the form of a statement sum, we can just see using the formula. So consider the demand for a good at a price of rupees 4. The demand for a good is 25 units. Suppose price of a good increases to rupees 5, and as a result the demand for the good falls to 20 units. Calculate the price elasticity. This is the way they'll ask you the sum, and how you have to present the sum we can see whether it is going to be elastic or inelastic. Price and demand. You have to write when the price was 4, the demand was 25. The same, even a slight change in the price, you can see the quantity will have variation or the demand will have variation. Now you can see when the price of a commodity of a good was from only rupees 4, the demand was 25. And now when the price has been increased to 5 rupees, the quantity demanded has been reduced 5 units. So it has been reduced to 20. So the solution, using the formula, you have to write this. So price elasticity of demand is equal to change in quantity divided by change in price into price divided by quantity. So what is the change price? The change price is 25 to 20. So the old price was 25 when the price was less. When the price is more, that is the new price. When the price is raised to 5 rupees, the amount changed is 20. So 20 minus your 25 minus your 20 is equal to 5. That is the quantity demanded. When the price is less, demand was more. When the price is more, the quantity is less. Now, when you see the price, you have to see change in price. The change price is 5 rupees. Old price is 4 rupees. So when you minus, you get 1. So P is equal to 4, and that is the initial price. Initial price means the first price, what you purchased. What is the quantity you purchased when the first price was rupees 4 is 25. The units demanded is 25 units. So the quantity was 25. Now this you have to be presenting here. Price elasticity of demand is equal to change in quantity divided by change in price into price divided by quantity. So what is the change price you are going to be asking? You can see here 5 divided by 1. So the value what you got in your quantity change, that is 25 minus 20. What is the value you got is 5. You have to write that change price there. And what is the quantity and price you have got? You have to divide it. So price, the old price and the new price, and you have to multiply. So according to the formula, you have to present that. Now what is the value you're going to be getting? 4 divided by 5. when you're multiplying, so what is the answer you're going to be getting? 0.8. So you just multiply these two. 5 ones are 5 5s are 25. 4 is going to be only 1. So you take it as 4 divided by 5. So when you minus this, you multiply this and get, you are going to be getting 4 divided by 5. Therefore, when you divide 4 divided by 5, you get the answer 0.8. Hence, price elasticity of demand is equal to less than 1. Therefore, demand is inelastic. Next, you can see that is going to be the first method. This is going to be the geometric method. The second method, what we are going to be seeing here. So, price elasticity of demand is different at different point on linear demand curve. So, what is that we are going to be seeing here is the price elasticity of demand is different at different points on linear demand curve. So, price elasticity of demand is equal to lower segment of the demand curve divided by upper segment of the demand curve. How you are going to be having variation, price and quantity. So that can be represented on a graph. You can just observe the graph and you can see when the price is higher, you can raise different kinds of prices over the x-axis and your y-axis. You can see the variation, how it goes to the negative till 0. You are going to be having when the price is too less. Take for example, it is only 1 unit, 1 rupee or 10 rupees within your budget. The level what you purchased X commodity is infinity. Infinity means no end to buy. That is the human nature. Whenever the commodity is going to be sold for a lesser amount, demand for it will be very, very high. So the next stage you can see it decreases from A to P and P to Q and Q to R and R to B. It keeps on reducing the level of consumption comparatively with the previous one. That is lower segment of the demand curve divided by your upper segment of the demand curve. It keeps on changing and comes to 0. So this is going to be the changes what you can see in the geometric method. Okay, so next we can see about the total outlay or total expenditure method. So the first method and this method is going to be useful for you and important. So you can just have it. We compare the outlay or expenditure of the consumer before and after the change in price. So total expenditure, price into quantity. That is the total quantity where P is equal to price and TQ is equal to the total quantity purchased. So this is going to be the formula for your total expenditure. So total expenditure is equal to T is equal to P into TQ. So TQ is nothing but the total quantity purchased. So this is going to be the way where you can understand this concept called as price into quantity. So when the price, this is P is going to be represented by P and total expenditure is TE. In your schedule, you can just see in the picture P and TE. So P, when the price is less, total expenditure is more. When P is going to be higher, the total expenditure is less. It is becoming elastic. Let's take it with the help of a schedule here. And you can see here, price is P denoted by 10 rupees and 8 rupees. When the price is 10 rupees, the quantity purchased is 100 units. Yesterday, I just gave an example for purchasing of the rice. When the consumer's income is rupees 100, you are ready to buy 10 kgs. The same way, now you can see when the price is rupees 10, the units purchased, the total unit purchase is 100. So, total expenditure is equal to price into total quantity. So price into quantity, 10 into 100. When you are going to be multiplying these both, price elasticity is going to be greater or lesser. You are going to be seeing the variation. The same when the price is reduced to 8 rupees, from 10 rupees to 8 rupees, the quantity what you're going to be purchasing is not going to be 100, but instead 150. So when you're going to be multiplying these both, that is 8 into 150, you get 1200. So it is going to be elastic. It is not going to be having very great changes, but slight changes. The quantity what you're demanding is going to be in the same level, but it has been increased to an extent, so it is going to be stable and it is going to be elastic. The same reverse you can see when the price of the commodity is going to be less, the total expenditure is also going to be less. Now when the price is higher, total expenditure is also going to be higher. So now that can be represented with the schedule. You can see here the price is going to be 8 rupees, the quantity demanded is going to be 100. Now when you're seeing the total expenditure, you're going to be having price into quantity. So 10 into 100, you are not going to be having very great changes here. It is 1000. Now when the same price is going to be decreased to 8, now the quantity demanded is going to be only 120. So when you are going to be seeing, it is very, very less. But there you are going to be having 1200. Here it is being reduced because the quantity what you purchased is going to be less compared to the other. Why? Because the price is higher. So you can see when the price is going to be unchanged and when it is going to be changed, we are going to be seeing the variation. Less, the total expenditure is unchanged. When the price is going to be increased, here also the total expenditure is unchanged. That is unit elasticity, elastic demand, where price elasticity of demand is equal to 1. Here you can see an example where nothing is going to be having any slight changes. So the price is equal to 10 and 5. So when the price was 10 rupees, the quantity purchased was 100. That is price into quantity. So it is equal to 1. When the price is becoming less, the quantity demanded is 20 to 5 into 200. You are going to be seeing, you are going to be getting only 1000. So it is equal. So this is also going to be a method where you can see the total utility is going to be unchanged. So next you can see here the price elasticity of demand when it is going to be unchanged. That can be elaborated with the help of the schedule. Price for all the three. Now what you saw, you can see here how it has variation. So the price elasticity of demand, you can see it is having from 10 to 8 and 10 to 8 and then again 10 and 5. Quantity is also having variation. When the price is 10 in all the three, it is in the same level. There is no changes. Quantity of units consumed is going to be the same of 100. Now, whereas when it is the price is going lesser, you can see there is variation in your quantity. So it is having variation either more or less. So it becomes to 150. The total units, it is going to be very, very higher. Secondly, you can see it is becoming lesser compared to the previous one. When the price is becoming less, quantity demanded becomes to 120. There you get only 960. The same you can see when the price is decreasing to 5, the quantity demanded is 200 and you can see it is equal to the same quantity what you purchase. This happens when you buy certain commodities in the market. This can be explained with the help of an examples with the working out of sums so that it will be clear for you to understand. So the next topic, price elasticity of demand. So the price elasticity of demand is percentage change in the quantity demanded in response to the percentage change in its price. That means when the person is going to be having money, when the price changes, the quantity what we purchase will be less or more is the concept. So price elasticity of demand is equal to change in quantity. That is quantity, what the amount of quantity we are going to be buying. So suppose you want to buy a pen or a book. When the price of the pen is 50 rupees, how much will you buy it? When you are going to be seeing the commodities prices too less, how you purchase that? Whether you buy 2 or 1 unit. So when the price is too high, the quantity demanded will be less. Whereas when the price is too high, the quantity demanded will be more. So this is going to be the formula. Simple formula, 2 marks for the formula. So price elasticity of demand is equal to change in quantity demanded divided by change in price. So you can see here change, that is delta they have been given here, that is called as change in quantity. Next, change in price. Initial price is the previous price. This you studied in your previous classes also. That is your base year and your current year. Do you all remember the index number? Base year is the last year. The current price is nothing but the present price what you're having. Last year's price and this year's price. When you buy a commodity, you have a comparative study with the previous year and the current year price, and then you are going to be buying that commodity. So that is what we are going to be seeing here. So the degrees of elasticity of demand. So what are the different kinds of degrees we can see here is perfectly elastic demand, perfectly inelastic demand, relatively inelastic, elastic demand, relatively inelastic demand, unitary elastic demand. Four main degrees you are going to be having. Let's see what is the perfectly elastic demand one by one. An insignificant change in the price leads to indefinite change in demand. So that means very small raise in the price causes demand to fall to zero. A very small fall in the price causes indefinite increase in demand. That means when the price of a commodity, take an example, best example for your petrol. The raise of price of even 1 rupee has a great impact on the society. When there is a heavy changes, the demand for purchasing of the car or purchasing your petrol changes. So very slight raise in the prices causes demand to fall to zero. Whereas a very small fall in the price causes indefinite increase in demand. So suppose the gold rate is going to be reducing, more number of people want to go and buy the gold. Whereas for the petrol, you see there is also going to be an impact of both this thing. So this is called as perfectly elastic demand. Sometimes certain changes, even 1 rupee less also matters. Certain times it does not matter. Sometimes it falls, sometimes it increases based on the variation of the commodities what we are going to be purchasing in the market. Perfectly elastic demand. A very small change in price leads to indefinite change in demand. So a very small change in the price causes demand to fall to zero. As I told you, you can see the commodity to be kept here in the graph. You can see where it is going to be when the price is too high. That is, you can see from 0 to P, Y axis and your X axis. So when the price is very less, the demand is also going to be more. When the price is decreasing to D1, it is going to be very lesser. P1, the demand decreases to D1. So it has a horizontal straight line where it is having infinity. There is no slight changes in the demand for both the commodities. Still people like to ride two-wheelers and wear jewels. So you can see these two are not going to be having any great changes, but it is going to be having perfectly elastic. Without the two-wheelers or the commodities which is being required for the national income is going to be inexistent. Next, you can see perfectly inelastic demand. So a large change in price leads to zero change in demand, or the demand curve is vertical. You can see a raise or a fall in the price does not cause any change in demand. Now, for example, this you can take the consuming goods, what we are going to be consuming without that we cannot exist. For example, all the consuming goods, what we are going to be using, you can take your utensils like your groceries, the rice or the dal or the oil or anything commodities which are essential. Now, if the price is raising also, will we stop eating food? Suppose the price of the petrol increases, we can stop riding the vehicles for a few days and then later on we can buy when the petrol is going to be less. But the consuming goods, what we are going to be consuming, you have to see that whether the price raises or falls, you are not going to be stop eating your food, right? So for that, what you have to see, the demand here will have inelastic. So a large raise in the raise or fall in the price does not cause any change in demand. The demand is always there in the market for the consuming goods, for your rice and for your wheat and for your dal and for etc. All the consuming goods which is being required is essential. So there is not going to be having any kind of effect in the market. Every year and every day it is going to be sold. So whether the price increases or decreases, you can see the commodity is going to be sold in the market. So relatively elastic. What is it relatively elastic is a small change in price leads to bigger change in demand. A very small raise in price causes a very large fall in demand. A very small fall in price causes a very large raise in demand. So the percentage change in demand is equal to 10%. Percentage change in price is 5 rupees, 5%. So any commodity when you are seeing, sometimes when the percentage of the prices causes variation, 1% or 2%, people will may see that they are not going to be purchasing, but yet they are going to be falling. Certain commodities, even if there is a large fall, you can see you are not going to be purchasing that commodity. So it has variation. So percentage change in demand is 10%. Demand may be decreasing, but the change in the price will be reduced. As I told you, you can take an example for petrol. If the government want to be raising the price, they may increase from 1 rupee to 10 rupees to 20 rupees also. But the impact of that, because almost all the goods which has to be consumed is being transported only with the help of the two-wheelers and four-wheelers and the trucks and etc. So you have to import and export the goods. So this needs the petrol and the diesels. So if the government is going to be increasing, we will have the effect on all the consuming goods. So if they are going to go on strike, we are not going to be getting our essential commodities in the market. So that will have a great impact on the demand. Then the price for the commodity will have only slight changes. Even 1 rupee matters if it has variation. Suppose the government want to be decreasing, while increasing he may decrease. It might be a gas, it might be a petrol, it might be a gold or anything else. When they are increasing, they will level of increment will be higher. But when they are reducing, you can see 1%, 2%, only this much they are going to be reducing the amount to decrease. So then it can see that the demand curve is very, very flatter. So we will wait till the season where the price is going to be becoming lesser. At that time we will purchase. So that time it is going to be relatively elastic. Next, relatively inelastic demand. A bigger change in price leads to smaller change in demand. So a very large rise in the price causes a smaller fall in demand. A very large fall in the price causes a very small rise in the demand. So percentage change in demand is 5% and percentage change in the price is 10%. So you can see it is just the reverse. When you are going to be seeing the prices to less, demand will be more. So the bigger change in price leads to smaller change in demand. So when the price is too high, we tend to buy the commodities very less. So you can take an example for tomato also. When the price is 150 rupees or 100 rupees kg, how much will we buy? Only quarter kgs. The same thing when the price of the tomatoes is decreased and it is being sold for 1 kg as 10 rupees, how much will we buy is, now actually we are going to be buying it only for 10 kgs or 5 kgs so that we can store it. So you can see there is variation of the percentage of the commodities what we purchase based on the price. You have variation. So when the price is too less, it will be steeply for sloping from left to right, from P to P1. P is going to be the first initial price, and when the P1 it is going to be reducing, price is reducing, your demand is going to be increasing, it expands to D1. So the demand for that is being increased. So unitary elastic, you can see a percentage change in price leads to some percentage change in demand.